Good evening. Are we there? Are we live? I think we might be live. Right. Let me just get some Facebook bits out before we carry on. Publish. Let's get some bits of Facebook stuff out and then we'll get into it when this posts. I've got a beer tonight. I'm not going to have 8 like I did at Andy's the other week. That was just ridiculous. I don't actually know if that posted or not. I'm really not sure if that posted. Let's have a look. Aha, Gavin, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. It did post. Excellent. Right. I just need to. Let me just copy this because, of course, Facebook and Instagram don't like it when you use links. For some reason. There we go. So I'll stick a comment in there. Bam. And another one in there. Right. Yep, that's done. Right, we're good. We're good to go. Now, at the end of the last stream, the last stream, I'm just going to kind of put that down to a bit of, let's just call it finding the idea. It was a little bit all over the place, and I've just realised I'm not actually looking at you. I'm looking at my TV screen for some reason. I should be looking up here instead. So yeah, it was a little bit all over the place. Afterwards, I spent about 2 hours on it, just having a bit of a play around, tidying some stuff up, and actually got us to somewhere where I'm quite happy with. It's very melodic. It's not my usual style. Normally, I do a little bit darker, a little bit sort of same notey, shall we call it. I don't know what to call it, but yeah, it's not my usual style, but that's good. It's allowing me to challenge myself a bit and try a few different things. What did I change after the stream? So the piano pattern, originally we just had a bit of a sort of a real simple piano pattern. I think if I remember rightly, it was just on the beat, just a chord on the beat. I've changed that ever so slightly, so that now it's got a bit more melody to it. It follows the melody of the vocal a little bit more, but I'll show you what I've done with that shortly. I've also changed the pattern on the pad slightly. The only reason I know all this is because I took notes. It's the first time I ever took notes as well on a track. But I thought it was going to be a week between these sessions, so I thought if I make notes, at least I might have some idea of what we did and what I did afterwards. Yeah, did a little bit of an increase. There was one of the issues with using the AI vocal separation thing is that sometimes, especially at the beginning of a word, sometimes it'll be a little bit artifacty and it won't quite have the same punch. So there was a word, one of the words just didn't have the same punch, so I brought that up in level a bit. I've now added a bit of an acid line in there. It was just a serum preset, and I just sort of did a little da-da-da-da-da thing, which I'll show you as well when we get into the Studio One. What else did I do? The kicks, when I went back to it, I noticed that the kicks were off from each other, so I've had a little play in the sampler as well, and sort of got them lined up a little bit better, because they sounded a little bit shit, to be honest. Snare and clap combo brought in, added reverse snare, sculpted tail. Yeah, I'll get to that bit in a minute and show you that. I've also added a new plugin to it. And tonight, what I think I want to do, I want to start off by working on the bass lines a little bit. I want to try and get that sort of pumping and going. And then once I've done that, I'm going to start drafting out a bit of an arrangement. I'll make the same sort of caveat that I made last week. I'm not a professional producer. This is just how I produce music. I don't always do it in this order. Sometimes I'll do it in different ways. It just all depends on where the inspiration comes from for me. But yeah, this is how I produce music. So without further ado, shall we get into Studio One? Oh, I've also added a little bit on the screen as well, so that now you've got the visualizer as well from Span. That was something that you guys didn't have last time. I had it, of course, because I've got it on the same screen as what OBS is on, streaming out to you guys. I'm going to get rid of them notes now because we don't need them. So just to give you, let me put some headphones on, otherwise I won't be able to hear anything. So what I think I'm going to do to start off with, I'm just going to play through what we've got just in case anyone hasn't heard the work in progress that I posted up to SoundCloud. If you have heard it, and you don't want to listen through to it again, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to listen through to it again. It's I've not really listened to it much over the week. I didn't want to sort of oversaturate my head with where it currently is. So yeah, we'll have a listen. Well, we would have a listen if my piano hadn't disappeared. Where's my piano gone? Ah, no, it's alright. That's my fault. Let's start again.
Nothing's created and nothing can destroy. Just try to take me.
Right, so that's where we're up to. Evening, Andy. How you doing, mate? Good to see you. Above average. I'll take that one. Right, so as I say, I wanted to make the start really on the bass line. From what I can hear, we've got top bass line, and at the moment that is literally just if I remember rightly, it's just a saw wave with a bit of a triangle wave on there. There's nothing exciting about it. And also, what I wanted to do, what I was thinking of doing with that, sort of harping back to the original inspiration, which was sort of the old uplifting trance sound. There's a slightly different pattern that I used to use when I used to make uplifting trance years ago. So I'm going to bring that into it as well, which will sort of bring a little bit of movement in that top bass line. And then underneath that, all we've literally got is very bottom bass line, which if you're listening on a phone, you might not even hear that. We need something in the middle to kind of drive this track forward. So I think what I'm going to do to start with, I'm going to open up a scratch pad. Apologies for if you don't see me. It was something that I noticed last week. Apologies for if you don't see me actually clicking on stuff. I use a lot of keyboard shortcuts. I find that it's the fastest way to work around in any DAW, really. If you learn them keyboard shortcuts, it just makes everything so much quicker. Correct, nothing on the phone. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. So, I think what I'm going to start off by doing is I'm going to work with the rolling bass first. So I'm going to open up the scratch pad. The scratch pad is where I do bits and pieces, and then I'll bring it back in later on. I use the key V on my keyboard to bring up the scratch pad, and it just brings up this little area basically where you can just do whatever you want, and it doesn't matter. I think you can have multiple scratch pads, and seems you can rename them as well. I've never done anything much with sort of having different scratch pads, as you could probably tell, because I was surprised that you could have more than one. And so I just like to use it as just an area where I can just do stuff without worrying about the rest of the arrangement. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in one of these rolling basses into my scratch pad. Interestingly, it's 16 bars. Of course, it will be, but I'd much rather have one that was the right progression. So, dead simple. What I think I'm going to do, I'm going to chop this into 4 pieces, just at each of the changes of notes. Get someone to provide you with some bespoke scratching. Now scratching. Yes, I definitely want to do something. I was thinking the other day about that actually. I was listening to, of all things, I was listening to the Cymix that I'd did for the Hardcore History video, and on there's a track. What track was it? I can tell you in one moment. Let me just bring it up on here. It was Sight Unknown, Gangster, and you can quite clearly hear that Si's scratched those the vocals that appear on that track. He scratched them over the top. So yeah, I quite like the sound of that, and I wouldn't mind doing that, but I can't scratch, so I might have to tap up someone for some bespoke scratching. You know I can't scratch anyway, Andy. You've seen me. So anyway, let's get back to the rolling bass. So the rolling bass, real simple. In uplifting trance of this sort of style that I was thinking about when I started this. the way that it normally is you would take your within a beat. You've obviously got your three not off beats are it's a rolling bass, so it's and what I used to do on my uplifting trance to start with was I used to take the one either side up an octave or down an octave. It doesn't matter which. In some ways, it will matter to the rhythm of your sound. And then if we change them all so that they look like that, oh dear. It's got to be an easier way to do this as well, I'm sure. I think me and you are going to be spending some time together soon anyway, I think, Andy. I think there's a collaboration on the horizon there. Nope. So that then changes our original pattern. So if I let me just drop that onto there. So the original pattern looked something like that, and the way that it sounded it's all very one notey. When I used to make the uplifting stuff, moving that octave gives it that little bit more movement. So instead what you end up with is, and as I say, if it doesn't work going upwards, you can go downwards instead. In addition to that, what I also like to do, so rather than just having it the side bass 50 then 100, okay, yeah, so the reason why I do the velocities up and down like this is just literally to create that little bit of movement in that bass line. I suppose you could say the important note of the three is the middle one, because that's the one that's hitting on the off bass. So that's the one that we're all used to hearing. The other two were, I don't know how I'd describe it. They're like accent notes almost, but they still form a full part of the bass, of the bass line. Down definitely sounded better, Andy. I 100% agree with you there. So yeah, the important bits with side bass is the lengths of your note, because with a traditional, if I took this out of here a second, just created a pattern that was it's just the three notes. So traditionally your side bass would just, I think anyway, would just stick on the same note, rather than going up and down like with the hello Rebecca. Who's Rachel? Oh dear, it's going to be one of them nights, is it? So yeah, so with the traditional, I think prog sci bass, you know, the one that everyone sort of knows of, it's that three note. But if you put all three notes together like this without creating a gap in between, like that, you end up with it all sounds like the same note. Okay, it doesn't on this because I've actually on my patch, I'm not using sustain on the amp envelope. I'm using decay, which rather than a dead drop off with sustain, it's like a decayed drop off. So if I changed that, let's say it was just a standard thing with full sustain and no decay, you would then get that. You wouldn't get that bounciness that you get from if I select all of them. You wouldn't get the same bounciness as if you chop off a little bit of that note just before each next note. Seems quiet. I can hear you fine. Yeah, I can absolutely turn it up, mate. That's because I turned it down, to be honest with you. Let's see. How's that one? Is that any better for you, Gav? Let us know how that one is, mate. Okay. No, it's okay. I can actually just adjust it in OBS. So I've got it separate. So don't worry about that, Andy. Right. So let's. So with the three notes hitting each other, it sounds almost like they're all crashing into each other. You've got to stop them before the end of the note, if that makes sense. With a side bass, that's how I get that sort of bounciness out of the side bass. Back to our uplifting. So it now sounds better with a little bit of movement in there. Something else I like to do sometimes as well is, rather than going with the standard pattern of down up down down up down, occasionally maybe I'll put a little variation of the standard in. So that's going into beat 3 there. But what I'll do here instead is I'll drop it to beat 2 and then beat 3 again. But then this time we'll do it across beat 4. And then what that does is, instead of it just being the generic down up down down up down sort of melody, we get something more like this. And it doesn't sound brilliant now, but we'll play with the preset on the synth and we'll pull all that in. I do need to actually put that back to my setting. It was about there, I think. That sounds better. So then all we need to do is we just need to repeat that process across each of them. But what I'm going to do, rather than going in and editing each individual one, I'm just going to say, right, that one goes to a B flat. What's the key of this? C minor, I believe. B flat, yeah, perfect. I only discovered today how to actually change it. Previous to today, whenever I've used the key roll, it's always shown as a sharp rather than a flat, and I've always worked in flats, not sharps. And I discovered today that if you actually set the key down by the tempo, then it will actually give you flats rather than sharps. Quick tip. So what I'm going to do, that goes to a B flat, so I'm just going to knock that one out. We're going to duplicate that one, and then I'm just going to pick all them and move them to the B flat. The next one goes to an A flat, so we'll do that again. Duplicate that one. This is why I split them earlier on. It just makes them easier to down to an A flat. And then the final one goes onto the G, so we'll duplicate that, select all of them, drop it down to the G, and what that should then give us is a complete bass line. Lovely. Okay, so that's good. So that's our little rolling bass line. I will sort out the preset shortly. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually bring in another layer into that. With this, I'm going to create a mid bass line. I've been messing around for hours. It's just doing stuff over and over again. You pick up all the little tips along the way, and the more time you spend, obviously, in your DAW, the more things you're going to find out. I'm going to try something different. That last rolling, yes. Yes. Let's see. The last one. That one there. Rise up. Hang on. Could you change the arrangement to make it rise up the beginning one? Absolutely. So on the last one, I'm assuming that makes sense. Daniel, I haven't smelt it yet, so don't worry. When I smell it, then I'll worry. Change the arrangement to make it rise up the beginning one. So do you mean the beginning note of that part, Andy? So like, for example, taking this note and bringing that up like that. To give it more of a sort of like that. Yeah, absolutely. And that's with I always start with a really yeah, rather than all uniform. Yeah, definitely. And I'd absolutely encourage doing things like that. I always start with the basic pattern, if you will. I just find that's the easiest place to start all the time, and then from there you can evolve that pattern to whatever you want it to be, and you can have it different as well. So let's say, for example, I've got two sections with this bass line in two different parts of the track, but in the first part I want it to be sort of uppy downy like it is now, but in the second part I want it to be a little bit more sigh infused. So with that I would then take the part that I'm creating over on the second side, which is just a copy and paste job, and then you literally just grab hold of them all, drop them down an octave, and then all of a sudden you've got that sigh sort of bass line back. In fact, we're going to do 2 and 4. No, definitely. But I did quite like it, so I'm going to keep it in. I'm doing it on 2 and 4. So yeah, so that's that. Mid bass. There's two ways that I normally attack mid bass on this style of track. I will either take my rolling bass and I will do sort of a Psy style so that it's all on one, but then I'll bring that into the middle. Sharky Revolutions. I get a lot of inspiration from the likes of Sharky. Well, he was always my favourite. So, with the mid bass, I'm gonna try Serum. I've got some presets and stuff. Like I say, I've not delved into Serum very much, but we might do at some point. So I'm going to drop this rolling bass down. So the two different ways that I used to do it, I used to do either a Psy style, all on one note, but still with the 3 hits every beat. The other way I used to do it was just a standard off beat. I'm bathing the kids. I will see you shortly, Andy. Enjoy bathing the kids. That sounds wrong. They're his kids. I will say that. The other way is just a standard offbeat bass. That can sometimes work really well with the tinkly of the high rolling bass. So with this one, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab all of these, and we're going to go for that Psy style, I think, with that one. Let's see if I can. Let's see. I haven't got a clue what any of this is. Right. Let me first off, I'm just going to have this, like the new mid bass to start off with. And we're just going to bring it down to that. Now I kind of like that, but there's not much to it. I wanted more I wanted a bit more meat on the bass line. That's nice. Would it be better down an octave? No, down an octave, Stu, not up. That could work. No, it couldn't. I don't like that at all. I'm going to go with a standard offbeat, I think. Right. We're on C, aren't we? We're on C. Let's go with standard offbeat. And I'm just creating things for no reason. We're going to go here. Let's knock it down to an 8th just because we don't have to edit any notes then. Right, duplicate that. And I know it sounds weird. Let me get a couple of kicks in here. I know what it is. It's because I've got a side chain on here, and yeah, I reckon so. See, drone sounded really nice actually. Yeah, it's because I've got a bit of a side chain going on. I'll try and remember to mute my mic in between because I think it's picking up your mouse and stuff like that. Right, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to get some a little bit of Pro EQ on. Yeah, just make sure I'm not muted. Yeah, I'm going to get a little Pro EQ on. Again, with me and EQing, I don't do a great deal unless I really want to pick something in particular out. If I'm really trying to alter a sample so that it sounds nothing like what it did, then I'll start getting into crazy stuff. But as for you've probably seen them. You know what they're like, and it's like you'll have all this sort of stuff going on. Not that one. You know, you'll have all that sort of stuff going on, and before you know it, you've lost half of the sound. So I literally most of my tracks will have just a low cut on them, and then I'll use other stuff to colour them and things like that. So now, hopefully, if I bring this sub bass in, I should, in theory, have a reasonably complete bass line. Yeah, I mean that sounds wicked, even if I do say so myself. So again, I'm just going to duplicate them over. Let's get rid of that rubbish over there, because I need to obviously do the progression, the you know what I mean, the progression of the bass line. I need to do that. I need to change the notes. That's probably a better way of putting it. So I need to change the notes. So I'm going to grab all three of those, and I'm going to grab that bottom one, because what I'm going to use the sub bass for is I'm actually going to use that as a reference, because when I double click into MIDI bass, it'll actually show me the low cut on mid bass. Yeah, high cut. Oh, of course, yeah, a high cut makes sense. Around 450, yeah. So if let's just get these on the right notes. So now, hopefully, what I'm hoping for is something reasonable on the mid bass. Let's drop that down there, put a high cut on. I'm going to make it a little bit more of a no, I prefer right. On the upper octave, do you reckon? I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. I give you that one. That definitely made all the difference. I will definitely give you that one. Right. So, do you think it sounds too high when it's solo? But if I let me just. I disagree with that one. I believe the very bottom end should be mono, but certainly not mids. I would say the old mono conversation's a hell of a debate, isn't it? Let me. Gavin's right. Gavin's right on that one. Mid bass is much better down there. Yeah, my sub bass. I'm doing through that. So we'll do that and mono, which then. Okay. BX plugins. No, I've got yeah, I've got a couple. I think I got them on the old Black Friday. Have I? Yeah, I'm unmuted. I'm having to check back to make sure I'm not unmuted. Right. I use this. Cut off for mono, whichever frequency. That would be fantastic. I mean, at the moment, all I'm really doing to create mono is literally just I chuck on a binaural pan and stick it in mono, and that just sort of puts the entire track in mono. But yeah, to be able to do it by frequency would be fantastic. I'll have to have a look at that and see which one it is. Hang on, it's not. No, that just looks like a filter. Yeah. Right. Anyway. So. Right, so the bass line I'm much happier with than what it was. It sounds a hell of a lot better than it did. It's got a lot more movement in it, which I like. Yeah, that'd be fantastic, Dandy. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Cheers for that, mate. So I think really, let's see. So I've got to try and put some kind of arrangement together, I think, tonight. I think before I do that, though, I'm going to actually take a slight break from this. Because, Gav, you were asking about rave pianos last week, and I've been putting a little bit of something together. A little bit of I don't know, just a project, just to sort of give you some ideas on how I create rave pianos without a keyboard. As I said last week, miles easier with a keyboard, much easier with a keyboard. You can just bash it in and away you go. But if you don't have a keyboard, make sure that's saved. instead, right, so what I did for rave pianos, what I did to start off with, I took 3 reference tracks. The 3 tracks that I took reference from were DJ Force and the Evolution, Perfect Dreams. Edit V, Sensation, that's the Vibes and Wish Dakota remix, of course, inspired by this month's coming video, which will be on DJ Vibes. And Dougal and Gamma, Lifting Me Higher, back to the 97 mix. I really like the pianos in this. And literally all I did was I went through and just worked out what the pattern was based on that audio. Now I realise I don't know what features you've got on the Switch there for doing that sort of thing. BX Control Vision 2. Right, give me a second, Andy, because I am going to make a note of that. In fact, I'm going to make a note. BX Control V2 or BX Stereo Maker. Fantastic. I'll have a look at both of those. I'll see if I can maybe grab hold of one and have a play, because that definitely sounds like something that I'm after. I mean, I could then I could use that on the bus channels as well then. To then just sort of mono them. Yeah, as you say, anything under that as mono. Perfect. Cheers, Dandy. Nice one for that. I'll get on with that after the session. So rave pianos, yes. So I took these references, and I found it quite easy with some of them. So like DJ Force and the Evolution one, you can actually see where the pianos hit on each of on the actual sample that I used, which made it much easier for plotting out where each of these should hit. I'm not going to play the original references because I don't want my stream taken down by YouTube, preferably. But to give you some kind of idea, so with a Korg M1, I use the VST version. I'm using Piano 16. I think that's the one that sounds the most similar to the old rave pianos. I don't know if that's the one they used, but it certainly sounds the most like it in my ears. And it's with the rave pianos, what I find is it's normally in 3 sets. A better example of that is probably on the classic pianos, so the old school sort of vibes, sort of piano-y sound. I'll start with the classic piano and I'll play that through, and then you can get an idea of where that is. Top tip as well, if you are trying to play these in with an actual keyboard and you can't play at 170 plus beats per minute, slow it down. Just slow the tempo down and record it in at whatever tempo you feel comfortable at, and then just speed it up later on, because of course with MIDI you can just speed it up and slow it down, and it just works. So that's with the what I would call a classic piano. So it's a straightforward-ish pattern. You've got bass, chord, bass, chord, bass, chord, 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 bass, chord, chord in that first bar. I don't know why that's not sticking. So that's that pattern. And then of course you've got things like you know, your DJ Force and the Evolution style pianos, which were more like that sort of pattern, which is different again to your traditional, but then it's got that the 3-roll in it. So, you know, chord, bass, chord, bass, chord, and again over here, chord, bass, chord, bass, chord. This seems to be a very common theme with Sorry, that was that was MC Lively. Now, as well as that, of course, I'm just going to quickly show you the one that I did for the Dougal and Gamma style. You know, that on the Back to the 97 mix, and that was more like this. With that one, it seems like it's just a bit more I don't know, just energetic, I suppose. Now, on the Korg, it sounds fine. There sounds nothing wrong with it. But I had a bit of an idea of how I think. I don't know for certain, but I think possibly this is how back in the 90s they got part of the way to that classic rave sound. And the way that I did it was I actually created a sampler. With this sampler, I recorded 2 samples. One of them was just a chord on the Korg. And that chord is just a real simple C chord. Nothing else, just a C, E, and G. And then as well as that, I also recorded just a single C note on its own. And then what I did, I brought them into my sampler. Now I've got this mapped out wrong for a start. I brought these in, so I've got the that's the chord, and then underneath I've got mapped the bass, which for some reason is really low. That sounds better. So once I'd mapped my bass to the bottom half of the keyboard and these chords to the top half of the keyboard, I could then use those original patterns. So for example, this was the I think this was the Edit V one, which sounded like on the Korg, yeah, it was the classic pianos. On the Korg, it sounded like this. With a sampler, it gave it a slightly different sound. Now, I'm just using notes rather than chords up the top. But instead of it being an exact chord, it's not quite, because it's trying to transpose that entire chord to whatever note you're playing. So it gives it a slightly off sound. And this was the reason why it was changed, I believe. That is there. So that's the Perfect Dreams one. So, of course, originally that... And I know it sounds completely different to Perfect Dreams like this, so we know that that's definitely not the way that Darren Styles recorded that piano part in. But where it does make it interesting, when you go to a slightly different pattern, for example, something more like this. Because then instead of that really sort of clean, really clean with every single chord being perfect, what you actually end up with is that's why it was changed. So that needs to go to about there, and that needs to come back to about there. Because then we can go. I don't know if that makes sense, but without it being a clean chord, it just sounds so much more like that old rave sound. So that I think that quite possibly that is one of the ways that original rave sound was created, because of course they used a lot of samplers and things back then, Akai's and things like that, so it would make sense. And why would you not record a chord in if you were going to be using chords? So yeah, there's something to think about. But yeah, patterns and stuff wise, that's how I did it, mate. I just pulled up a reference from something else, and then just copied it in, and everything was good. So yeah, rave pianos. I do like a rave piano, and I do think that that's very much. It just gives that sound. I swear it gives that sound. Maybe it's just me. Right, so I'm gonna go and grab myself a drink and grab a wee. No problems at all, Gavin. Glad it was a help. I know it wasn't exactly me sort of showing you exactly where to lay the notes, but yeah. And if you need the MIDI files or anything, drop us a message, mate, and I'll send you over the MIDI files, and you're more than welcome to have them. That's not a problem at all. Yeah, I'm going to grab a drink, I'm going to grab a wee, and I will be right back. Right, we're back. I got myself a beer. So, where are we up to? Right, so we're back into Made of Love now. So what I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to start roughing out a arrangement, I think. So, first thing I want to do, because I'm going to get rid of my scratch pad, so I'm going to bring these just into here, just so that I've got access to them. And I will also add a little marker just so that I know where it is. Here. Right, so I can get rid of my scratch pad now. Let's get rid of the scratch pad. And I had an idea with this track actually, that I was going to start it in a different way, a way that I've not started a track before. Normally, whenever I start a track, first thing that you hear is a kick drum, because that's just the way that I've always made tracks. But this time I think I might actually start it off with the pads and everything and the piano and stuff. So let's start. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find myself, because I don't think, or have I got one? I've got a crash. What's the crash? It's alright. I tell you what we can do. Let's create rev white noise. I'm going to create an instrument and it's going to be a silent. Yeah, I do as well, and it's not something that I've ever done with a track before, so it's definitely something that I want to give a try with this one. What are we doing? We're making a noise, aren't we? So, noise, dead easy. We're just going to create some noise. One voice is fine. I am going to put just ever so slight bit of with a bit of resonance. Okay, now let's do. No, let's do it this way. So the way I'm gonna do this, I think I'm gonna create a massive attack. And then I'm going to create a bit of release as well, just to put a bit of tail on the end of it. Don't need that much tail. Lovely. Now, as well as that, I'm going to add a little bit of reverb. With a little bit less size. Because of course what I don't want to do is I don't want it just crashing into whatever it is that I end up doing. And I'm going to have a little bit of delay because I can. Timing on it probably, probably a quarter would be. Nice. So that's just a real simple reverse noise. So we are going to have a note, and that's just going to go to there. In fact, I'm going to bring it in more. So bring. And as well as that, I'm going to create a rev crash, which is going to be an audio, and for that I'm just going to grab my crash from up here, bring it down here, make it so that we can actually see the thing. I'm going to reverse it, And then we're just going to chop it down like that. Just to give that. Right. Now, we want a boom and a crash. So I'm going to bring them over, and we are going to start off with some pads. Let's get some pads in. Bring them. Now, I've got a bus on here, haven't I? I have got a filter on there as well. Excellent. Right, so down a bit more, up a bit more. I'm going to make these so that it's just one note for this first bit, like so. And then I'm going to want the piano. And what we're going to do with the piano is, instead of just hitting straight in with that one, we're going to get rid of the chords for the first bit, so that it is literally just that little tinkly melody. Actually, I've changed my mind on that. I would like that to... Oh dear. Let's grab them back, shall we? Bring them back. Over we come. Oh, get it in the right place. Like that a lot. We're going to duplicate them and that, and then I'm probably going to want another crash, just there-ish. Why can I not put it where I want it? I want it there. Bingo. And what I'm also going to start bringing in is, let's bring this acid line in. So that's going to come in over here. That's just that one. And we're going to put that there. So with the acid, I'm going to have it coming in a little bit and just going back out. Dead simple. In fact, I'm going to bring that further down, am I? No, I'm not. That's good. Right, so I'm going to actually bring that further down. Right, I like that, but it sounds a little bit, so I'm going to bring in maybe another plug. Where is on this filter? Right, I do like that, but I think it needs another, as daft as it may sound, another filter on it. Just with like a little bit of resi on it. We'll just bring that down a touch. That sounds better. Also, same can be said for this. I want a second filter on this, and I want to bring that so that it doesn't come straight in like a sledgehammer. I quite like that little change there. Okay, I think it's time to bring some vocals in there. I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing these in now. So I'm going to bring these over. Probably is somewhere around there. Yeah.
Never give this up.
Where are we? Where are we?
Never give this up. We're only above. We're only above. Never give this up. We're only above.
Alright.
Never give this up. We're only above. We're only above.
Okay. Good. Good. Okay. I'm gonna want me sub bass next. I'm on the line, so I'm gonna want those again, and I'm just gonna make it dip just right at the end. I'm also gonna want my acids again. This time though, we're going to do something freaky with it. I'm going to want that. Let's just make sure that, as I thought. And then piano wise, now I'm going to want a proper one. But I'm also going to want that last bit. So if I delete that off, bang that on there, we can group them, as well as that I want to start bringing this plugin and that. So we've got that and that, and that. I'm gonna also bring in plug 3 here. Plug 2 low towards the end to build tension. Yeah. Which will be.
I'll never give this up. We're on it. We're on it. Take it away. I'll never give this up.
I keep forgetting to put my mute off. So because I want this to do some sort of crazy stuff. And again, I'm going to want to drop that down. Am I muted again? No, I'm not. That's all right. I'm going to want to drop that down again. Now, how we did it over here, I'm now going to start getting rid of some of this guff because it's in the way. I'm going to leave the lead there a sec because I need that. I need that acid as well because that's slightly different to the first one. Oh god, and then I go and delete it. Delete. Yeah, that's fine, and they're fine now. Because the lead, right. So the lead I'm going to actually start to bring in now. With that one. Now this is obviously on low pass here. Crazy stuff. Play as solo first. Yeah. So right. So I wanted to bring that in next. Obviously we're going to be keeping them. we'll bring that sub bass again. We're doing absolutely nothing up here, so we're going to want that. But then this time I'm going to grab all of them and bring them all over like that. Bring that one in. Duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. Duplicate. Right. What are we sounding like now? Okay, kind of like that. Let's same again. $80.20 is in the game, however. Email through chat. I didn't get your email through chat, mate. Hang on. Let me see if it's. Can I? No. Yeah, no email in chat, mate. But by all means, drop me a message anywhere, mate. Facebook, Instagram, at Stuart-K Music, Soundcloud if you want. Same over there at Stuart-K Music. Yeah, I'd definitely be up for. I'd definitely be up for a collab, mate. Always up for working with creative people. I think it helps to bring some creativity out in me sometimes. I can be a bit of a dilly-dallyer, as you've probably seen from my streams. Ooh, a bit of ASMR there. But yeah, I can be a bit of a dilly-dallyer. But yeah, I like to twiddle with knobs. Sorry, I've got to pour me beer. My northern friends would not be happy with that head. Okay. Where are we up to? Right, let me just listen back. Oh, no, I know what we're up to. I actually wanted... So, if you remember on the original work in progress, we dropped somewhere around here. Yeah. So we actually stopped playing anything much 4 bars before the end. Right, fine. We can do that. So we come back to here. 4 bars? Really? 4 bars? Fine. That's what we did, so that's what we're doing. bum, 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 bum. So I'm just going to chop out the last 4 bars in everything. Oh. Once we do that, I can then oh, I don't know what I did there. Didn't mean to. Chop, chop, chop. Oh, and yeah, thank you for the compliment, man. Yeah, that is it. That's a hell of a compliment. I appreciate that. I'm just some guy in a bedroom, spare bedroom in his house. Right, I want to keep Betsy's vocal, and this is where we're going to again. So I'm going to be naughty, and I'm going to use exactly the same again there, even though we did already, but that's fine. So then the kick and bass are going to come in here. I'm going to get rid of that boom to give me some room. Get rid of the boom to give me some room. I've tempted to. I'm not going to do a whole white noise reverse thing there. I didn't stop the sub bass. That was naughty. Right. That should stop it. Yep. That'll stop it. So, and then that's a boom. And then once we come into it, that's when we're going to start coming into things like the kick and bass. So, why does that say kick and bass? Oh, of course, because I've got sub bass in there, haven't I? So, we're going to bring some kicks over. I'm actually going to bring my new bass line over, because why wouldn't we? And then now here's where it gets interesting. I want my pads. I don't want bass pads though. No problems at all, Dandy. Perfect. I will after this session. I'll have a look and I'll drop you a message back. And yeah, let's get together, man. Make some music. So I'm going to want pads. Let's now get rid of that because it's going to be in my way. What I am going to do is oh no, I'm not going to bring them leads in now because I'm going to bring these leads in. Along with, I'm going to go back to the original acid pattern, which doesn't have the dups in. It just has straight line dups. Right, we want piano, pluck, and pluck 2, not pluck 2. I'm going to just have pluck 1 there. So that would then. Are we looking? Yeah, we're looking about right. Excuse me while I listen. Oi, oi, Danny's Birdshed. How we doing, mate? Good to see you. Right, good timing actually, because I'm just about to listen back through from the beginning because I've just been throwing a lot of stuff in place and I don't know where I'm up to. So let's have a listen. I was wrong. It was not 4 bars whatsoever, was it?
And nothing can distort.
It's actually there that I need to break. And I bet I cut, didn't I, rather than... Yeah, of course I did. Right. Bear with me. Well, that was somewhat annoying. So, we decided it was actually here that I needed to cut, weren't it? Yes. Right. No. That. Bum. Yeah, that's good. We can bring them back then, because that's where they were meant to be. I believe I'm meant to have something like that there as well. And also, we're going to have to grab... No, we're not, because we undid it all. So, right. Now at this point, we can now go, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. I want acid. I want M1, pluck 1. We're not taking pluck 2, and we're not taking that either. So we can just drop them in. I'm sure we had it. Oh, we did have leads as well, didn't we? So let's get a lead in there as well. Pads, sub bass. That's right. We don't need that sub bass because we're bringing in the new bass lines that we made earlier on. Oh, shoot. There we go. Right, that's looking more like what it should have been. Yes. Right. Let's try again.
Save me. There's nothing you can change. There's no explaining, and no one to blame. Nothing's created, and nothing can distort.
Helps if we bring the kicks in, doesn't it? I wondered why we weren't really hearing anything much from this. You're saying without bass after 65? I'm not sure, you know, because I don't know. Hang on. Let me think. I'm wondering. Right. If I grab those ones, go like that, but we'll make it a quiet one. Opening a low cut till the kick right from 65. Low cut the kick also. Opening the low cut till the kick roll. I see. So if I get you. So I'm sort of opening it. I don't want to open it fully though. And then what if I sort of right. I know that looks weird because I'm chucking that kick straight in, but hear me out. No, I'm not sure I like that. I think actually that should be higher than, if that makes sense, higher than it. Also, notice we haven't got the side chain on, but that's okay. We can deal with that in a sec. Right, sub bass is coming out. The mid bass goes to the bottom bus because I'm stupid and I should have sent it to the top bus. I bring in another filter on the top bass bus. Hear me out, hear me out. And then I'm going to use a high pass on that as well. Not too much though. Let's just. Does that make sense? And then what I can do then is I'll be doing lots of automation tonight, I'm afraid. We can insert filter and high pass onto that, close. Let's open that up a bit and now I know that looks weird, but I'm creating movement at first, and then you think you know where it's going, and then it's going to cut right off, and then I'm thinking that maybe then I can bring the sub bass in. Stu, come on. Yep. I've got my microphone on. I've got my microphone on. Oh. Alright. So now we can take the full lot. And then bring that over here. Because now I'm going to want to bring everything back. So we're going to bring that back in. We're going to bring that back in. We're going to have these again. They can disappear. They can come back. And now we're going to go in with that one. Ding, ding, ding. A bit of that. No, not that one, please. That one. A bit of that. Oh, shine a light. A bit of that. Filter kick out over build up. Yeah, that's what I thought. Kick out. I'm gonna have to be honest with you, Danny. Danny, I don't know what you mean by roll. Oh, the drum roll. Ah, even the roll. Gotcha. Oh. Now, something's sounding weird there, and I think it might be that. Half bar filter. Half bar filter it back in. So there's my kicks. Half bar. Where is it? Is it? Where is Automation for riff lead. That's the automation, you're right.
Never give this. We're all made of love. We're all made of love. Give this up. We're all made of love. There's made of love. Just try to save me. There's nothing you can change. Just
Money to make on Call of Duty? You can make money on Call of Duty now, I didn't know that. Right, I think it's time to get some hoovers. You got it, Dandy. I'll drop you a message as soon as I've finished this stream, mate, and yeah, we'll have a catch up. Enjoy your Call of Duty, my friend. Right, I want a sampler. And in this sampler, I want, it doesn't really matter, one of these. No, what's a sticky hoover? No, I think we'll sticky to the original hoover. So let's map it to the full keyboard for a start. It does tell me that it's in F, so we will change it to F as well. And right, this is going to be fun. So if let's drag that to the beginning somewhere, because I'm going to have to pull a hoover out of this, which is that, I would say. Beautiful. Right. I just need to decide where I want it now. So what I'm going to do to decide that, I'm going to open up my piano roll, go to the beginning. I heard it then. I'm sure you heard it quite loud as well. That is where I want it, but I want like a, let's go to 16. Again, I'm just, oh god, not that way. Just going to chop them in a little bit, just to give it that jumpiness. While you're in with that hoover, remember Scott Brown rock roll on? Yeah, yeah, they did. But then again, Scott Brown's been sort of the inspiration for a hell of a lot of people. I would say. I mean, he's always, especially with samples and stuff, he's always, you know, pushing the boundaries of what them samplers can do. I remember watching the Hardwired DVD when I did the Scott Brown video and seeing that setup that he's got, and it's all, you know, you've got samplers down here and stuff, and you've got stuff going on over here, and but yeah, I think he does know how to use a sampler quite well. I don't think it's just how to use a sampler. I think it's picking samples as well. I think if you're good at picking samples, then I think you do all right. Alright, let's try something a bit different here. Right. What I wanted to try was with that last one. This is a little bit strange. We're going to make it even stranger. So I'm going to add some automation, of course, but this time the automation I'm going to add is going to be on the pitch bend, and I'm just going to bend it slightly and back up again. Oh, too far. Just a bit. In fact, I'm actually going to make that noise slightly longer as well. Yep. Let's get into the pitch bend. Where's it go to now? It says it goes to there, but I disagree. Because I reckon it goes to there. Pitch bend. Oh, looking at the wrong one, aren't I? Display on. Right, that was the one that we wanted longer, so we'll make that longer, and then we can make our bend longer, excuse me. Now my sample runs out there, so I'm going to ping pong it. No, I'm not. That sounds absolutely awful. What about... Okay, ping pong for the win. Right, what are we on? 9 o'clock. Pour that in there. Keep topped up. Right. That Hoover, I'm going to want some. What am I going to want? I'm going to want a little bit of reverb on there, but actually I might put reverb on through the sampler because it doesn't sound bad. And a little bit of phaser as well, just to make it sound a bit different. And okay, turn that off. We can duplicate that now. So now that should.
Just try to save me. There's nothing you can change. There's no explaining, and no one to blame. Nothing's created, and nothing can destroy.
Do you know, I don't like them.
And nothing can destroy.
Right, I want some noises, so I'm going to go and find a random pack out of one of the many that I've collected over the years. One shots, no, not that kit. Let's try, what about underground techno? No. I want something a bit weird. Something a bit weird. Hits. Beautiful. Right, found it. So. Going to create a new audio. We'll just call it Tech FX. That'll do for now. Turn it down and just a little bit of delay on that. I'm going to go with a quarter. Drop off a bit of the low end, give her a bit of drive. And what that gives us now, instead of being like a raging hit like that, we end up with something a bit more techno-y, I suppose. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, like that. I don't know where it's going to be, so I'm just going to stick that there, and then it makes it easier for me to just duplicate that to the next one, which actually isn't there. It's there. It's fine. And then, of course, we can duplicate again, stick it in the right place. And that is a little bit of effects. Alrighty. Let's see. Let's come out of here. Sample packs. I want to search for a roll. Finish now? Good. I mean, it's a pretty standard roll, isn't it? So let's it's not 8 bars, that it's 16. So we're gonna want a drum roll, snare roll, probably gonna want that down. More than likely, we're gonna want to roll off that bottom end. Sounding better. Alright, so right, let's try this then. I'm gonna, where is, let's have a look at this. Ah. No, not a fan of that. Let's just try looking for a fill. See what we've got. See what sort of stuff it gives us. I have an idea. Fill. Bit of that. Not going to do it with that one because that would be not great. But I'm gonna drop them out of it and them, I think. Yeah, let's. No. Like that, and then take that out of it. Cheers, Gavin. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, if I don't see why not making it a regular thing. I know it might not be all that interesting to some people to sit here and watch me fiddle about with me music. It's better than sitting watching me fiddle about with something else, I suppose. But yeah, yeah. Enjoy your evening, mate, and yeah, I'll catch up with you again soon. I think I'm probably going to be calling it a day myself anyway in the next sort of 15-20 minutes or so. I just wanted to see if I could get a bit of a random fill in here. I'm going to put Pro EQ on it, but I don't know that I'm going to use it. Oh. Right. So then I'm going to want, where is vocal? Here. So I'm probably going to be bringing that back there. So again, we're going to want, right, we're going to want hoovers and plucks and pianos, acid and leads, knock the bass pads out. I'm going to want them and them and them and them and them, and I'm going to want all of that, and this is going to make a mess. Right, that's all the rest of this. That lot can all go in the bin. That, oh god, destroying it all now. That can go in the bin. We'll just chuck that in the bin for the moment. Are we at a point now where we can get rid of everything that we'd originally done? I've got all of that. Right. I think that's it. So now when we... Right. So now we can grab everything. Grab, 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 grab. Grab, 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 grab. Grab, grab. That's fine. We could copy all that over, even though that's in the wrong spot. And then we can just make sure that all these that we chopped are the right length again, like so. Cancel. That's what I wanted to do. They're all fine. That needs to come out. That needs to come out. Nice. Tell you what does need to be different. That needs to be different because it's that one. Right. Yeah, I think that is probably me about done for tonight. I can only produce in short periods of time generally, because it frazzles my brain after a while. Probably because I spend my entire night running myself around in circles over the same bits, but that's fine. Yeah, I had fun tonight. It was good. I enjoyed it. Is this something that anyone wants to see more of? I don't know. If you do, then well, shout up, let me know, and we'll get a few beers cracked and make some music again. What I'm probably going to do with this now, because it did my head in a little bit, not touching it through the week. I know I could have just carried on with it, but I wanted to save it for tonight. But what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to carry on with it. Not tonight. Maybe tomorrow, over the weekend or something, or I don't know. I'll find some time to work on it, and I'll get an updated work in progress out to my Soundcloud channel, which, if you didn't know, I've actually been keeping a work in progress of this track up on there. Soundcloud.com/Stuart-K Music if you want to go there and check that out. And yeah, I'll get this new one uploaded as soon as possible, and I'll get a bit more work done on it, and I'll let you know. And if it's not finished by next week, then yeah, maybe I'll pop on, do a bit more work on it. But for now, I think I'm going to go and have a chill out for a bit. Rest me ears. Thank you all for your support, guys. Thanks for joining us. It's been really nice to have you guys here, chilling out with us.